Hey, good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Hoffy. I haven't done one of these for absolutely ages, so we'll see how this goes. I've had trouble with my throat, so that really affects me talking. But anyway, it's taken me a little while to get set up this morning. Um, but we're just going to dive in and see what comes of today. A few things that I want to share with you. Anyway, so let's just get in the mode. And I look forward to your comments, but I can't respond to your comments because I only have 2 hands and I have to be all the way over here to respond. So there's no one else here. It's just me, just little old me. So yeah, Coffee with Hoffy. I have so missed this, but I've been so busy. You know, when you just get busy with your life, exploring other things, that's what I was doing. But anyway, back now, hopefully every Saturday. Although I can't guarantee it if I've been out the night before. So anyway, what have we got? We've got 22nd of August is the full moon. And I always get my information from a guy called Roland Legrand. He's very good. You can find him on YouTube. And I basically listen to what he has to say about astrology because he seems to be king of astrology. And then I break it down into some layman's terms because I found that astrology can sometimes be very difficult to understand. And sometimes it takes me, like I might have to listen to it like 3 or 4 times because I can't hear what he's saying. It's kind of, I'm trying to process the first bit and I can't hear the second bit. So anyway, I've done the best I can. Excuse me, I told you my throat was sore. Let's see. I've lit a candle. I've quietened the space. I'm actually on my 2nd cup of coffee, which I think is going to help. I'm also on Anchor FM. Hello to those on there. I'm a bit shaky today. I know it's my first time, so right. Let's just get some space. Let's get our space right. The one thing I found that when I was doing this every week, it was just bringing me into such a great space, and I felt very connected to the universe. And I feel like I've been away from that for quite a long time. So it's kind of like I had to feel my way this morning and go, let's make sure everything's all set up how it should be, make me feel good, light a candle, ask spirits and guides in, all those lovely things that put us in a nice space. And earlier on, I was thinking about how difficult it is to find a quiet space in the world to connect with yourself, and connect with the universe. If you've got a house full of children or people, or and you just live a busy life, where are you grabbing that little bit of space? I was trying to think what I could offer you in a way of bringing you to that space. So maybe Coffee with Hoffy would be a good starting point because you can just engage and just watch the YouTube on rerun or whichever way, or live. Or I can list out a few things at the bottom just to say, if you're going to have a space, always light a candle, because candles always represent spirit. Always create a space. Some people put water, some people just like a little mini shrine, somewhere where you can close your eyes consciously and sort of disconnect from the world and just listen to yourself, because a lot of what we do in life is just a response or a reaction to what's going on around us. And sometimes we forget that we've got all these other powers within us, our inner source, our intuition. And when you're shrouded by lots of other activity, sometimes that you can't hear it. So you need to find a space where you can actually listen to your intuition, connect with those things that you think are coincidences that are not coincidences, pick up on little messages. So here's my little messages today. So as I was getting this together, I came across this stone here, and it's been missing from my little pack. And I thought, yeah, I mean, I didn't go searching for it. It just presented itself to me, and it's called the Carnelian Stone. And I'll tell you this bit, and then I'll tell you the astrology piece, and then we'll do the cards. We've got lots to get through today. You might like some of it, you might like any of it. So that, and then this card, I'd obviously had this pack of cards in a box, and this one was left in the box. So it's showing me the Carnelian Stone and freedom. Now, some people might have just picked that up and put it away, That's, to me, that's a message. That's a message that somebody's telling me you need to put those two things together, and they're going to present some sort of story for you today. So I've been feeling under the weather, as has everybody. And I've been desperately trying to claw back my energy to sort of engage with life again in a positive way. And I'm sure many people feel the same. And I've been feeling very lethargic. Anyway, this Carnelian Stone, by chances, restores vitality. It promotes positive life. So that's a yes for me, please. Gives courage, which we all need, because we need courage to step forward. And it sharpens the mind. Well, the confusion that we've all been sitting in for the last couple of years now, really. Yeah, I'd like to sharpen my mind up a bit, please. And that is also relevant to planets and where they're sited. So I'll tell you that bit in a minute. It dispels apathy. It's good for fertility and stimulates your sexuality in a positive way. So, you know, you might find that your sexuality might be a little bit stagnant, and this Carnelian Stone can revitalize that. It does represent the base sacra, the base and sacral chakra. Now, I haven't really delved into chakras, if I'm honest. You know, I don't know everything about everything here. I'm just picking the bits out that I think are relevant. So anyway, it's represented, the planet that is represented by the planet Mars and fire. And as you can see, and that's all relevant in a minute, as you can see, it's a like fiery color stone. It's really good if you can have it on your skin somewhere, you know. I mean, that necklace would be nice, wouldn't it? You know, if not, just get the stone, pop it in your bra or something. Or I don't know what I could say for the guys. Have you got like a little special place? I don't know. Your pants. Represents the numbers 5 and 6. It also represents rebirth and reincarnation. And I really felt that this whole piece for me today was a reincarnation of bringing it back together, because, you know, I thought I'm never going to go back to Coffee with Hoffy. I don't know if I will, but this has brought me back, and this is supporting me doing this. So yeah, revisiting old ground is never a bad thing, is it? If you can bring some new energy to it, that is. It represents past life and a recall. So it might be bringing you to a space of previous realms, really. I mean, it depends what your beliefs are, but I believe that we revisit all the way through time. It represents individuality, and mostly it represents emotional warmth. And I can't think of anything nicer to represent a hug. And it is a warm stone. Some of these stones, when you pick them up, they just stay cold in your hand the whole time. But this one's definitely very warming, and I can feel it heating up already, just from playing with it for a short space of time. So I might invest in a bigger piece, because I always think, if you don't know what crystals to buy, and you know, you go out and buy this big crystal and go, oh, it's not really doing what I want, or it's not making me feel any different, then buy the smaller version and take the time to play with it and feel it and touch it and feel what energy you get off it before you invest. Because some of these ones, they're very, very expensive, aren't they? Some of these crystals. So yeah, so that is the Carnelian Stone. Right. First time I've introduced a stone into Coffee with Hoffy. I'm going to put it back there, right by the fire, so it should be nice there. And then the card that I got out was Freedom. Now, I find very quickly, I mean, it could be my star sign, but sometimes I feel very trapped. And then when I feel trapped, I just want to get away from everything and everybody, and I just need my own space. That's how I feel at the moment. You may feel a little bit of entrapment, or not entrapment, entrapped. What can you do? Because you don't want to hurt people's feelings and say, "Oh, bugger off, please," but I need a bit of space. Or you could be, you could be that up in front about it and say, "I need some space now. Give me some space." Okay, so freedom, and I think that's freedom to do what you want to do. But there's lots going on, and I'll cover that now, because you may feel restricted in what you can want to do. I don't mean just COVID, I just mean in life generally. And I'll explain a few things, and that hopefully that will open up your mind a bit and enlighten you to some things that are going on around us in the planetary aspect. So as I said, I always follow Roland Legrand. That's where I get my information from. Yeah, it can be a bit doom and gloom, I'll be honest. But I always try to see the best, the best bit, and look for the best bit. So on the 22nd of August, right, is the next full moon. Okay, and the moon will be next to Jupiter, basically. So Jupiter being the biggest planet, it is the biggest god. I think we can just, planets are deemed as gods really, because they are controlled. They are our solar system, and there's a reason why some of these planets go and meet each other, and something happens, and then they carry on their journey, and then, I always wondered about that, but I think that can be why we feel a lot of energy and pull in certain ways, and we're thinking, why have we been pulled into that, or why are we thinking like that? It's because of the planets. They're sort of creating that energy. They're pushing down on us, imposing on us in a way. So because we've already got the full moon, we all know that the full moon magnifies everything that's going on. So whatever you've got going on in your life, that full moon is going to magnify it to a greater extent. Jupiter, is going to it's going to impact on that energy as well. So it's going to be a greater intensity. And the thing about intensity, it's all great, but it can be heavy. It can be heavy. But Jupiter represents abundance and generosity and positive option. Right? It represents miracles and hopes and opportunities, growing, new experiences, things like that. So you're going to have a full moon, and then you're going to have all this positivity of this great big giant planet imposing on that. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. But what you might find is that there's going to be a surge of reactions on the 22nd. It's only tomorrow, isn't it? 22nd. So we've got a little time to prepare. And it might impact on your health, or it may even impact on the earth itself. We get a lot of things going on, movement of water and weather and things like that. So tomorrow is going to be a very interesting day, and I want you to get the best out of that day and night and the days following that. And so yes, so we've got, so think about the moon, think about the big Jupiter and all it can bring and the positive changes it can bring, but take today as a little bit of time to prepare. That's fair to say. So straight after the full moon, we're talking a couple of hours, the moon will change signs and it will move into Pisces. Now, Pisces is represented by Neptune, and Neptune is the deep thinker. This is really important. You need to tune into me now if you can, because it's taken me ages to get this down. So you've got Pisces and Neptune. So Neptune is represented by Pisces anyway. Neptune has been in Pisces since 2012, and it will remain there until 2026. Now, what does that mean? Well, Neptune is your intuition. It's uncovering your soul. It's your awareness spiritually. It's about your dreams. It's about deeply thinking about things and trying to maneuver your way through life and making decisions and carefully planning and things like that. So if you're thinking, I've been putting time into this and it's still not coming to fruition, you may have to wait till 2026. But in that time, I know it's 5 years away, and you may feel a real sense of freedom. Come 2026, you're going to feel like everything has lifted off you. Everything has changed because you've come up to the surface. You know, Neptune's also represented by in the sea. What's his name with the big old stick? Zeus. Zeus sits in the water. Let's say Zeus. I'm sure he's the underwater god, isn't he? Imagine coming out of that water from the depths of the ocean. Wow, blue sky moment. So 2026, put that in your extended diaries. And also, Neptune is the slowest planet, and it takes 150 years, 55 years to evolve around the zodiac. So it's in no rush. And that's why when you're pulling, you go, I want to get on with this, I want to get, and you go, oh, these delays, these obstacles, these things are stopping us from doing it. It kind of is that bit of Neptune kind of holding you back. And it's trying to hold you back like a catapult, you know, like keep pulling you back, making sure you're making the right decisions before you step forward, all those sorts of things. But yes, so that's Neptune. It's got a lot to say, Neptune, because it is represented in our mind. Okay, so also while the moon is in Pisces with Neptune, we also have it in opposition. So on the opposite side of the zodiac, we've got Mars and Mercury in Virgo. Gosh. So what did I say? I said this represented Mars. I said you may feel confused quite a lot. That's Mercury. You know, when you say Mercury in retrograde and it's causing a lot of infrequencies, it's causing a disturbance to your general frequency where you can't hear people, you can't listen, you can't talk, which I've been struggling with, and I'm fighting through this right now. Mars being the god of war and our ability to combat and fight and defend ourselves, and impose on others what we want people to think with us. So yeah, that's a really strong energy. So we've got all this going on. So after the full moon, you're really going to feel the next few days some intensity to that, and you may feel very irritated with people around you, or you may even over like what we're having for dinner. Well, I don't know. What do you want for It's all of that, all those like picking little things. It's making us very picky and tuning into really the wrong things because we can't see the bigger picture because it's shrouded by these planets that are causing a lot of interference. Now, Carnelian Stone creates clarity. So, I mean, even if you can't get yourself one of these little stones, you know, I'd say before the 24th of August, just read about it, think about it, just think about, maybe pick something up and say, this is a Carnelian stone, and do that and use that as an energy to keep some clarity in what's going to happen over the next few days, basically. So that's what you can do to prepare, right? So we're influenced by Mercury, which is our ability to communicate, which I've already said, and Mars, which is our ability to combat and fight. The last thing we want to do is get into a fight. And obviously, because Mars and Mercury in Virgo, Virgo is very analytical. So be very aware on the 24th of August that you don't make mistakes either verbally or in action. Just and analyzing, maybe over confusing the situation. Just try to avoid problems and be very vigilant. Yeah, stay grounded in yourself. Just be aware of what's going on, but hold back as much as you can. And if you are going to speak out, try not to do it straight away. Write it down before you say anything. Protect yourself, you know. Now put down the 5 P's. Prior preparation prevents piss poor performance. Or is that 6 P's? 6 P's even. Prior preparation prevents piss poor performance. So that's where we're at. So over the next 2 days, at least, try and prepare yourself, you know. Try and get ahead of it a little bit, you know, rather than behind it and being dragged along. Now, but on the 25th, straight away, we've got Venus in Libra, which is love and affection and balance. So this is all going to be building up. You'll have the 24th, which could be, you know, if you can get your tin hat on and get through it, that would be great. And then the 25th, you're going to wake up and go, oh, fresh. You're going to feel very fresh. You're going to feel very like the problems have lifted a bit, you know. So that is the astrology piece. And I only listened to, that's probably only about 15 minutes of Roland Legrand. I didn't have time to go further on because he starts going into later on, and I'm only interested in the full moon piece. So there we go. We got it out. That was 22 minutes. Sorry, guys. So that's finished. We'll leave that aside. Any questions, please just drop them down. I'd like to say I can always go back to them, but I just can't answer them straight away. So now we're going to move on to the cards, and I've been thinking about, like I say, it's all about your spirituality, isn't it? It's all about being connected with yourself and understanding where you are and where you're going, because you need to know where you are before you know where you want to be. And I realized this morning that there is so much stuff around spirituality. I've got a magazine, don't mind saying it, Spirit and Destiny, and I was flicking through that. Oh my God, there's just so much to read, so much to absorb. You know, where does one really start? And I was kind of annoyed by it, because I was like, it's not Vogue, is it? It's not just got the salient points, which I think would be far more interesting to read. Sorry, guys. Just speaking my truth. That's Mercury, sorry. Coming out of my mouth before I've written it down. So I do think, right, so how do we find and tune into this space? And it is about lighting a candle. It is about taking a few deep breaths on your own and your space, and enjoying your moment, connecting with you. You are the most important person in the world. So all the time you're giving to other people is great, but you must give yourself the same amount of attention. So I think we're going to do Eeny, meeny, miny. I've got all my cards out. I feel really happy that I've got them all out. So I think, well, we've also already had the freedom card, haven't we? So we'll keep that out. Let's do it around this way. Sorry. We'll keep the freedom card out. This is, oh gosh, I think it's Jonathan Hall. Let's have a look at his cards and see what he's got to say. So this is a general reading. Now I might do a little love section afterwards. I'm covering a lot today because it's the first one. And I'm trying to give you some different things to think about. You know, you're going to have to dust down those old journals. And we're coming to the end of, well, we're soon at the end of summer, won't we? Our summer's been pretty rubbish in the UK. Most rubbish one, I think, for ages. And even now it's raining. Let's see. We've got freedom. Now, freedom of your mind, freedom of things that have stuck to you over time. You don't realise, when you're forced to sort of like take the time to address your spirituality and listen to yourself, you don't realise until you stop and do that, and you go, oh, I never realised that I had this, say it's like an imaginary war. I never realised I had been carrying that horrible war with me all this time about such and such. I could have just let it go. So I feel like it's time to clean up the aura a little bit, get rid of all these like barnacles that have stuck to you over the years, and strip back to the person that you really are. And that is, I mean, just thinking about that gives me the nicest feeling. We do need somewhere to start, so let's hope Jonathan Hall can give us a bit of freedom. I'd write down all the things that make me feel free. I mean, bike riding makes me feel free. Exercise makes me feel free, you know, swimming, things like that. Being amongst my family, you know, just seeing them laughing and joking and being happy, that makes me feel free. What's this one? Emotional withdrawal, number 8. So I'm going to take my chakra stone, Carnelian Stone, and I'm going to pop it on this. I'll show you this card. Won't be initially, but what I like is I'm telling you to pull back. And what is that card doing? God, I can't get it to tape now. Right, what's that card doing? That's somebody on there, sitting there in a meditative state, and it says emotional withdrawal, taking the time, and thereby water, which we talked about, water, Carnelian Stone, Mars. So number 8, courage. And number 8 also means that you've already done the first piece. You just need to build on it. It's like putting the second level on top of the house, you know. Emotional withdrawal, yeah. So I think, yeah, withdrawing a little bit emotionally and taking the time for yourself is always going to be beneficial. So I'm really happy that that's come out. We've got the colour green, which is very earthly, isn't it? It's very grounding. Do you like that? Thank you, Jonathan. Are we going to have some more from you, or are we going to pick another card? Well, I feel like already it's just creating just a nice path. Yeah, feel like get it out of there. Let's have a look. Do we want to go with another one, or what do you think, Jonathan? I mean, I don't know if we can match that. I always get really nervous. I think, oh, I so want it to be something, but actually, I've just got to let it go and let it be what it's going to be. I think, yes, we are going to put out another one. Yeah, we are. Just get them. So nice to be around my cards again. I've been out and about so much. I haven't had time. Work keeps me very busy. Here we go. Right, here we go. I'm really happy. So this is movement, choices, and decisions. Let's see that card there. So, and we've got number 2, which is about balance. And that's what I'm saying to everybody. Get some balance back in your life. Be aware. It's very difficult. If you're sitting there and thinking, oh, I don't really know what to do, I don't really know where to go and what the next stage is, yada, yada, yada. You do know where to go, but you have to give yourself up to that thought. So you've probably already told yourself what you really want. And the only thing that will be keeping you back from making those decisions is fear. The Carnelian Stone can bring you courage. So you need to overcome that fear and decide to go with that roller coaster. You know, it's like getting in the roller coaster car and then not going on the roller coaster. So you have to kind of take the brake off and let it flow. And if you're stuck and you're trying to make decisions, you know, write those. Look, it's 4 doors, so write 4 different ways that you can go forward, and actually just go with the one that you agree with the most, and don't make it the most difficult choice. You know, life is not meant to be difficult. Life's meant to be an easy ride. So go for the easy option to get where you want to go. That's fine. So that's choices, decisions, movement. I like that because 8 and 2 comes to 10, which means that it's the end of one chapter and the beginning of a new chapter. That's all really yummy, because we get to have another go. Now, these cards over here are calling me. I've had these cards many years, and I don't really use them very often. But as I was sorting them out today, I was thinking, oh, you haven't used that. Let's go back. So these are most tarot readers will have these cards. They're quite common. I can't remember what they're called, but we're going to go with it anyway. I mean, I think I picked these cards because I like the back of the card. I didn't really know what was on the other side. That's interesting, isn't it? So lots of cards have these sort of like circles and yin yang, there's like the balance of life, the infinity, because it's in circle, it's infinity. Lots of readers are drawn to those kind of symbols. They're probably like feeling a little bit rusty, I expect. Let's see what we've got. Okay. Ooh, nice. Look. Journey. So I'm talking to you about making a decision and, you know, rebirth and stuff, you know, making a decision to move forward. And here we get the journey card. Perfect. Also, a number 2. Nice. So that's further balance in your life. Oh, I like this. Please get your journals out. Sometimes it's good to have a bit of pen and paper when I'm doing these. But up to you. Journey, yeah. So moving forward, not knowing which direction you want to take, but the thing about any journey is that you need to pack for it. So be prepared. Pack your little case. Get ready. Anything you can do in preparation. So you need to do that little bit of, as I said, with emotional withdrawal, bit of meditation, time with yourself, reflect. Even if it's only for 1 minute a day, I'm sure you can spare 1 minute. And you know, 1 minute will evolve. Sometimes you might want to spend more time with yourself. Sometimes you think, oh, I don't want to spend any time with myself. But anyway, do that little bit of meditation. Take a bit of time. Write down the decisions that, or choices or options that you've got, and then sit and connect with those options to take you forward, and prepare for the choice that you've made. Well done, old oracle cards. Let's see, what else do we want? Okay, loving sharing this with you. I will do one afterwards. I'll just do a couple of cards just for the love section. And that's purely for selfish reasons. So, so yeah, good space, freedom. You want to feel free. Yes, you do want to feel free. Everybody wants to feel free. What are the things that make you feel free and happy? What do you want long term? I know exactly what I want long term, honestly. I need to take a bit more time to focus on that. Okay. Well, thank you for watching Hoffy with Coffee. No, Coffee with Coffee, Coffee with Hoffy. I mean, I might get no views at all. Do you know what? I don't think it actually matters because today was just about me reconnecting as well. So getting everything out again and just getting back into my space. It was just as equally as important to me. And if you do like it, then please hit the like and maybe subscribe, whichever. I'm not pushy. Right, come on, cards. Now these feel very heavy, and these are my spirit guide cards. So this is what this will just support your journey, and I've got my truth cards there, but I think I'm going to use them for the love reading. Yeah, I mean, if you want to know any of okay, right, so here we go. This has come out. I've never had this card out of this pack, which is nice. It's always nice seeing it because sometimes the pack just gives you the same cards for a long time. So this is the 5 of air, and this is about fear. So he is, now we need the carnelian, don't we? You know, if fear is holding you back, just remember fear is almost the same feeling as adrenaline. So you can swap that over when you like. If you're feeling fearful, then that will stop you from making some decisions. You need to write down what that fear is. What is it that's stopping you? Because then you need to look at that in isolation and say, oh, well, I didn't realise until I wrote it down. I knew I felt fearful, but I didn't write down what was making me feel fearful. So I couldn't really address it. So you need to write down your fear, then look at that as a separate point, separate point, and see how you would tackle that. And then you need to say, what is making you feel fearful? And it's not until you start to build those things that you're able to manage it. When it's just, I feel fearful, it's all emotional, blah, 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 blah. You know, you can't make any sense of that. So you need to break things down and find out what is it that makes you feel fearful. Sometimes when people might be successful, they actually get fearful and they have to make that decision whether to take that step or not. And that's why if you sit down and write your options, you need to get into the right space and time. You ever wondered why you might get, I don't know, a room that's particularly untidy and you just keep shutting the door on it, shutting the door on it, shutting the door on it. And then eventually one day you just go in there and you smash it out It's tidy. It's gone beyond tidy. It is gleaming. And you're like, yeah, what was it that was stopping me? What was it? I mean, it could be, oh, just the boredom of it was stopping me from doing it. But you need to know what it is, what that fear is, in order to tackle it. So I think in terms of getting back into the right energy, then these are probably the best cards you could have had, because it's just reaffirming where you are now, what your desire is, what you've got to deal with, how you're going to deal with it, and that will enable you to move forward. So freedom, emotional withdrawal, which is your meditation piece, movement, choices and decisions, journey. Well, you can go on a journey, but are you ready? Not ready, that's the wrong word. Are you prepared? Have you packed that case properly? Have you got everything, every tool you need in that case, or everything you need in that case to go on that journey? You ticked all the boxes. And the fear, anything that's holding you back. Love, love, love. Shall I pull? So a lot, I can't stop myself now. Been away for months and now I'm just can't shut up. And my throat's already starting to feel better. That's great. No, I think that's right. No, I think if I pull out another card, that is going to overcomplicate it. I think it's enough for people to take in. I think what I'll do now is I'll do you a little love reading. Now, this could blow us all out of the water. So, that card. Thank you. So these are my truth cards, and they do tell the truth. I've not seen these. I don't even know what they're called, because I bought them loose like this from someone, and I've never been able to find out what they've actually been called. We use the heart cards, and we'll use the twin flame. Let's get those ones out. Okay. So these are my twin flame cards that I have written. Ooh, it's taken me a couple of years. And they are the stages of a twin flame relationship. So if you feel like you're in a twin flame relationship and you don't understand, and it's very confusing, and which twin flame energies can be, and 1 minute you're together and next minute you're not, and you know there's a connection but you don't know how to move it forward. This lists out all the stages. I've put 5 stages in here, and if you wanted to put them all out, you would recognize that first stage of your relationship, the second stage of your relationship, the third, fourth and fifth, and so on. So we're going to use them, we're going to incorporate them into the reading. So let's start with these love cards, which I love. You know, I wish I was that creative. Look at it. Look at these lovely cards. Lovely. I'm going to go with that one because that's the one that I pulled. Love it. New beginning. There we go. New beginning. And a new adventure awaits. Embrace it and live your dreams passionately. Good. With your Carnelian Stone, which is sacral, you know, and base chakra, sexuality, vitality, fertility. So that's representing all your passion. I knew that would come into play today, so that's great. New beginning. Yeah. Just if you've been with somebody a while, you think, oh, you know, when we first met, it was like this and it was like that, and then we got to know each other, and then it wasn't quite the same. And how do I get the fire back? And you go, it's not about getting the fire back. It's just about getting back to who you are and you feeling sexually happy. Once you're sexually happy, you can share that with somebody else. So it's not about the other person. So let's see what the twin flame cards say. So happy with these. Oh my God. Come on, twin flames. What are you going to tell me today? How many cards you got? Oh, there's actually about 52 cards in here, I think. 52. I might have thrown in a couple of extras and just put 52 on the pack. But there might be a few more. Is it? Nice. Well, thank you, everybody. I've really enjoyed today. If you've got any questions, you can always drop me an email as well. You know, if you want. It's what is it? Moon Child Hoffy at Gmail. Try that. I'll put it on this post anyway. I've uploaded it and there you go, that's the card. Right, what does it say? Oh, there you go. So egos are put aside to see each other clearly. So in a twin flame relationship, quite honestly, it can be quite challenging because you are the flame split in half, and so you're equally fiery, and sometimes you could be we're trying to fit together with the flame, we're just so kind of each other, and that's why they part. So in order to come back as one like this, you kind of have to put your ego aside, forget everything, bring down your barriers. That will enable a nice new beginning. Put all the past aside, you have to forget everything, and so that you're coming in a pure light opposed to a kind of angry flame like this. Right? So that is twin flame. Okay, we'll take that. Thank you very much. This is the Truth card, and this is the Knight of Cups. Ooh. So this Knight of Cups, this is suggesting that this Knight of Cups wants to come forward and share their love, but they've got to find their more emotional side. So if they're tied up with work or really distracted with other things, it's very difficult for them to connect to their emotional side to move forward. So creating a space for that to come out is by letting down all the barriers and maybe just making a nice meal. Just say, oh, I'm making a nice meal tonight. We could be the other way around. How about we just get a bit fancied up, you know? Fancy putting a dress on, fancy putting a nice shirt on. Come on, you know. So do a bit of that, bit of that schmoozing, and that will create the space to reconnect in a nice, positive way. And there's nothing nicer than sitting and talking over food, or even sat on a wall by the sea, just where there's a nice space to breathe. And that's what you need to find. You really need to find that space. So whether that's personally or in your relationship, to enable that new beginning to get off to a good start. So I think I've rattled on enough. Absolutely rattled on enough. I think that's enough for everybody to be getting on with. That's your homework. I hope you've enjoyed Coffee with Hoffy. I'm sorry if I was a bit juttery at the start. But I do appreciate any time that you spend watching, and I really hope more than anything that there's something in here for you, and there's something in here for everybody to pick up on. And like I say, you can drop me an email, drop me a message. It's absolutely fine. I'll do my very level best to come back to you. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the end of the session. Oh, I feel sad to go, but thank you very much. Love and light to you. Don't forget, 24th, get your tin hat on. 25th, get some Zen back in your life again. Tonight, tomorrow, just prepare for the next week, which is going to be a very busy week for you, mentally, physically, emotionally, on every level. And yeah, I don't want to let you go. Now I've got you, I just don't want to let you go. But thank you very much. Have a great Saturday, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye. I've got to find the mouse.